So this woman asked me, so you're not a Christian? And I said, Christian? I'm 21st century. And she looked at me, just a blank. Obviously she was pretty Christian, as you can imagine. And she didn't get it, It stuck in her that it didn't make sense. That this myth can be applied in the 21st century. But it just can't. All the mythic stuff has to go. All you want is the real thing of 21st century reality. You want compassion, cooperation, love your neighbor, do unto others as you would do unto them, or whatever that is. That one. That's okay. But all the myth has to go. My friend said, well, people just let them believe what they want to believe. And that's good. I would totally agree, except they keep using their religion to dominate, segregate, repress. And they use the excuse of the myth that it's valid. Somehow, the policy of prohibition is valid. Somehow, it's in the book, even though they're drinking wine and all that other stuff. Somehow, the policy of prohibition, no cards, no gambling, no liquor, no prostitution, and now, no drugs. And it's based on their book, evidently, their morality of what is an okay person. And they're trying to stick that on everybody. And then they stick the one on, there's no homosexuals. No, nothing about it. Because it's, once again, their book of myths. Somehow they think we're supposed to believe there's a Sodom and Gomorrah that was destroyed by, what was it? Some sort of fire thing or something. I don't know. It's just stupid. It's just a myth. It's made up. It's fantasy. And see, they're using it to repress people. They're using it right now. This guy, evidently in America, is a presidential candidate, and he's a homosexual. He's avowed, I think he's the first real, just overtly homosexual presidential candidate. And these guys are here, and they're guys who are showing up at his rallies here, and they're saying stuff like, it's Sodom and Gomorrah. And if you're not part of all this hooga booga or something, you'd say, who gives a That's a myth. That's stupidity. That's not intelligence, that's stupidity. In the 21st century, that's stupidity. That's not religion. But they're clinging to the myth as the excuse for repression. And women. Republicans turn around, they block legislation would have given women the same pay as men. And these Christian wackos are still saying women are secondary status because it's their book of myths, the Garden of Eden myth. See? But it's myth being used as the excuse to repress, segregate, deny equal rights. You got to throw it out. You got to really come down with the more determined view of separation of church and state. And really, bam, say, that's religion. Trying to stop people from getting abortions, that's religion. And we don't pay a bit of attention to religion. We go to all people are created equal. We go to equal rights. We go to personal decision. is more important than religious. In fact, it's the only way of doing it, than religious doctrine. So that's why, well, religion, okay, as long as they're not interfering with equal rights. As long as they start, they stay in their lane. As long as they stay in their lane and they stay entirely away from equal rights and excuses to repress and deny and segregate, if they don't do that, they can have their little dwinky dark age religions and their fabricated gods and God or whatever. If you don't 1 or 500, it doesn't make any difference. It's all a fantasy. It doesn't matter. Fine, good. But once they start using that religion to start to segregate, repress, try and push legislation based on their religion, even in the face of tremendous failure and fraud, like the whole war on drugs, the policy of prohibition. Everybody is, really, intelligence is saying it's a failure, it's stupid, stop it, it's over, should be over. It's only religion that and wait till you start bringing it up. We've got to legalize prostitution, we got to legalize drugs, we've already legalized gambling, we've already accurately legalized access to alcohol. Well, you just got 2 more to go. Well, you start mentioning that in a political campaign or legislation, and watch what happens. All these Christian wackos come out of the dark. Sodom and Gomorrah, they're going to be yelling, "It's the end of everything. Oh, God almighty. Oh, jeez." Aren't they? Because they're desperate, of course. Yes, you get it. They're desperate. Even in the face of facts of the huge disaster that the war on drugs has been. The complete idiocy and stupidity of it. Folks, we say it over and over, and you got to say it again. You have to run the business, not criminal enterprise. The business is there. You're not going to stop people from using drugs with proper education and legalization. You got it just like you'll have right now. Your crime will go down. Your incidence of trouble and harassment will go up for a little bit once it's legalized. And then it'll drop back down because people find out. It's not very productive or interesting or very conducive to anything to be a drug addict. Well, okay. There'll be a little flurry here, of course. Human nature. But look what you got now. You have an in-place business going on right now in the terms of billions and billions of dollars a year. The business is in place. There is already the business of prostitution. It is already active. It is in place. The only real stupidity is you don't run the business and criminal enterprise does. And because criminal enterprise runs it, you are seeing all sorts of violence and corruption and sex trafficking and horrific situations only because religious morality stupidity says make it illegal. All this stuff has to go. If they're not going to be 21st century, equal rights, equal protections, reality of human nature, then yes, we can't be paying attention to all their myths and their excuses and their hysteria. It's got to be over with. Now, if they want to still do all that stuff and Christmas and all the Easter bunnies and all that and all the weird stuff they do, and the same with Judaism, the same with Hinduism, the same with Islam, it doesn't matter. All of them are Dark Age stuff. And they all carry this weight. Repression of women, repression of homosexuals, and this intrusion into your life process of everything about your life, when it should be done away with and you should be left alone. It's up to you. And we've pulled the rug out from criminal enterprise. See, sanity returns. And a big part of getting back to 21st century reality and sanity of, let's say, what's even another word besides sanity, but clarity, wisdom, intelligence, things like that. To get there, you have to face and undo religious myth.